right, everybody,
There you go.
welcome. So this is part 2 of National Beer and Burrito Day, Beer with the Boys. We got John Hill down in North Carolina, funeral director, embalmer. We got Ryan and Brian from Undertaking the podcast, funeral directors, embalmers down in Indiana, and John is enjoying his burrito and beer wholeheartedly. So I pulled beer from the freezer that were death themed. So I got this in my fridge.
What is that?
It's a Cerveza del Lago. It's just a Mexican lager from Big Lake Brewing here in Michigan. And I've also got from Bring Out Your Dead.
Ooh, I like that one.
It's an IPA.
The other one was a little bit of cultural appropriation, but I'll take the second one.
Yeah. So those are my favorites. I don't love IPAs, so this one I drank a couple of them, but not this last one. I just thought I'd grab them out because that's kind of fun. It's beer themed. So we're gonna do a random 3-parter here with 3 random questions. So the first one, we were just talking off camera about tattoos. Everybody knows that I just got a new tattoo. I actually got this one as well. Do you all have tattoos?
Go ahead, Brian.
Oh, I have none that you will see.
How many do you have?
I have none that you will see.
You can't tell me a number?
No, my mother might watch this. I have none.
Does your mom not know? You're 40, what, 5? And your mom doesn't know you have
Oh
tattoos?
my God.
Are you kidding me?
Well done.
No, seriously.
No, I am not 45. But no, I have 2. No, how dare you, sir?
Does your mom not know you have tattoos?
So
No, my mother, my father, and they don't know on purpose. Thank you. So now I just outed myself in the tattoo realm. So no, I've got 1 and 2. I got 2.
Okay.
How long have you had them, and how long have you had them? Let me ask you that.
Years, several years. Yeah.
And your mom and dad, the Waters family, is not aware.
No, my brother found it. My brother found out like I don't know, like a year and a half ago, and I've had him for several years. I just happened to be changing shirts prior to embalming, and he looked up and he's like, "When'd you get that?" And that, like, my family's been very like anti-tattoo, as funeral director families and coroner families. They're like, I don't know. They've just been massively against tattoos, and they're like, I don't know. They make these stupid comments like, "Well, if you get decapitated, at least they'll find out who you are." And so I just repeat that back to them. And I'm like, well, you guys have said for so long, if something bad happens, at least you can identify them. And I'm like, I want that. So I don't really say much.
That's the justification.
We'll be like, well, this body has 2 tattoos. It doesn't have a head. And Brian said he has 2. So we're going to theorize that maybe this is Brian's body.
Maybe.
Yeah. Ryan?
Do you have any tattoos, John?
Yeah.
I do not.
I knew it.
I thought about getting a nice butterfly on my back at one time, but the problem is that if I get it over the years, I will turn into a moth. So that's one reason I haven't got a tattoo with that. No, but on the serious side, no, I don't have any tattoos, not planning on it. Don't want to make that kind of commitment in my life, having something permanently on me like that. But Brian,
don't mess with perfection, John. Right?
Brian, I got something funny. That's right. But listen, Brian, your statement about you got tattoos reminded me of the movie The Waterboy. You remember that scene where the coach is trying to convince Adam Sandler to join the team, and he says, "Mama wouldn't like it. Mama wouldn't like it. Mama don't want me to play that foosball. She don't want me to play that foosball." And he looks back at her and says, "Well, Mama didn't want me to get a tattoo." And he pulls up and he pulls down his britches on the side, and he has a picture of Elvis or something. And he says, "What Mama don't know, don't hurt her." So that's that's about you, Brian. What Mama don't know, don't hurt her.
My mother would cry.
There you go.
We were quoting The Waterboy at work today at the funeral home, because one of the funeral director's favorite parts is when he says, "I saw him thinking about Coach's boobies and I liked it," or something like that. I don't remember. But
John, it was Roy Orbison.
Oh, was the tattoo?
It was Roy.
That's right,
Orbison.
not Elvis. Okay, you know it better than I do that,
Oh,
buddy.
yeah.
But
Brian?
as soon as
That's a
Brian was
routine.
talking about that, that came to my mind about the water boy. I was like, well, Mama, don't hurt her.
Brian, do you have any tattoos?
I've actually got a few stories here. I'll say this.
I'm sure.
I've got a tattoo across the top of my back. It's not my last name, like, other individuals in life have done. It's not my
Whose
last
name is it?
It's not a name. It's a symbol. It's just a tribal symbol, shoulder to shoulder. Looks great. I'll be 100% honest with you. And then I've got like kind of a three-piece here. I had a cross here on my shoulder, comes down to about mid tricep. I got that, and then I added later on in life as a paramedic. I ended up adding two pretty decently large nautical stars to that. So from here up, I've got tattoos, and then across my back. I'd love to get more, no question about it. For some reason, I'm just having a hard time justifying the cost with what I want to get. I've got a full piece that I'd like to come up my side and actually come up onto my chest and down my chest a little bit. But I'm not willing to spend that type of money, really. But
Yeah,
I've got it figured out.
The star that you have, I totally saw in the book at the tattoo guy. Yeah, I saw that there.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's original. I mean, if that's what you're asking now. The other thing I'll say is this: is back in my college days, Ball State University, back when it was labeled the #1 party school in the nation. This has been years ago, 2002, 2003. I had a moment in life. I wasn't a funeral director at the time. I wasn't really anything. I was a college student, where I went maybe a little bit wilder than I should have.
Right.
Well, maybe not that I should have. I enjoyed it. I'll say this: I enjoyed it. So I had a nipple pierce.
I bet you did, buddy.
Ooh,
Whoa, I didn't know that.
he
I had
said
my
nipple.
My left nipple pierced, and this is a great story. Okay.
Oh, that was a great gay for you.
It was great. I'm glad it well played. It was a great day in a lot of ways, but then in a lot of ways it wasn't as well. So in college, I had my parent. I had an apartment that I lived in. I would go to my parents' place because they had a hot tub, they had a pool. I would bring friends over there and do, hang out, do whatever, yada, yada. Well, I thought it was a really good date, to be honest with you. It was really going well. Thought for sure it was going to be great. Didn't end up being great, but went to the hot tub at my parents' place after dinner and this and that, just hanging out. My parents didn't know that I had my nipples pierced or my nipple pierced. Okay. So we're in the hot tub, hanging out, talking, laughing, yada, yada. And I've got one of those little rings hanging, you know what I mean? Not a big one, just a little one hanging in the wind. The wind would blow it a little bit, it'd move around. Sure enough, I was not expecting this. Mind you, I'm 19 years old. My father was home and I didn't know this. He comes outside to see what's going on because, Ryan and a friend of his are in the hot tub together, yada, yada. I better see what's happening. Well, it scared the hell out of me that he was home. I didn't even realize it for some reason. I'm not sure why, but I wasn't thinking of that. But he comes outside and I stand up out of the hot tub, just stand up. And I spaced it. I totally forgot that I had this done. He grabs it and yanks that son of a gun right off my nipple.
I knew I liked your dad. I knew it.
My nipple now, I'm not going to say it's deformed, but it's not like if you would look at both nipples, if you would look at both nipples, I'm being flat out honest. One looks different than the other. I got a top hat nipple.
I'm sure.
All one nipple. You know what I mean? And it's because my dad ripped my nipple ring out, man. And I couldn't believe it in front of this girl. I was so embarrassed. I got blood in the hot tub. Yeah, it was a horrible date, but I totally had other things on my, I didn't think it was going to work out that way, you know, and
Sure.
sure enough, yeah, he grabbed that thing and yanked it right out. Didn't even, and as soon as he yanked it, took it with him and went right inside, bleeding. I'm bleeding down my chest. Okay.
Mr. Ballard.
So
Oh,
he was not happy, but you know what? He wasn't happy about the tattoos either, but you know, that was a surprise as well for him.
This is a way better story than I thought it would be. I love it.
Yeah.
Well done.
oh my.
Yeah. So you'll have to, Brian, you'll have to ask him about that. He talks about that with the family, the night that I made my son bleed. So
What are some fun tattoos you guys have seen on deceased that maybe you won't give too much away? Can you share?
Yeah.
My best is here kitty kitty over a man's genitals.
really,
Oh. Yeah.
that's
I had one guy that he had, I guess, his girlfriend's name on his, and then I also had
on his
tattoo
what, John? On his what?
on his dong. What else do you want me to say, buddy?
Big dong.
Yep, that's
Okay.
PG enough for Kari's page.
Okay.
So, that's right. So, but it was just right there, right inscribed on it, and then it was unique that I had a young person that had a tattoo, and they had "I'll live forever" or something like that on their
Oh,
arm.
like horrible irony. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. I mean, tattoos I've seen like that all the time. So
I got nothing.
terrible.
I got nothing.
See, I'm not gonna say it. I'll leave it alone. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Ryan.
I can't. This isn't the podcast. I can't. I gotta keep going, Kari. I'll leave it alone. John, great story.
No, I want to ask you a couple questions, Ryan. One, when are you going to get a tattoo of what's on your hat? That has to be tattooed on you sometime.
That's
that has
not
to
a
be
bad
a
idea.
permanent tattoo on you sometime.
I like it.
Put it on my lower back.
There you go. That's it. Your tramp stamp. That's
You know
it.
what's
Like
you know
Beer
what's
with the
wild?
Boys in person tattoo getting edition or something.
We can have those tattoo parties where you invite somebody over and they'll do that to you. Now, hey, I'll be honest with you. I had a few friends of mine that were gentlemen. Well, I won't say gentlemen. They were male. How about that? That actually had tattoos in their lower back region, like tattoos you wouldn't see on necessarily a man, I wouldn't think, but yeah, it was there. Kind of wild. I don't know. They call it. I don't know if I can say it, Kari.
What do they call it, buddy?
It's something stamp.
Oh. We can't say tramp?
You can
I
say
don't know.
tramp stamp.
Okay.
I don't care.
So-
I was like, what is the
Stamp
male
all go.
equivalent? I'm trying to
I don't
think of
know.
any word that
I always made fun of the guy. You know, had a big old sign on the. You know, it is what it is.
and it's
I
kind
just
of a
never
chick
understood
thing,
it.
but
Yeah.
so here's another question for you guys. People want to know, when you die, what kind of services do you want? Because I don't think we've talked about that before.
Go ahead, Brian.
Why is it always me? For me, I don't care. I'll be dead. 100%. I will be dead. Because I'm
Yes,
constantly
you will be
dealing with
dead.
people. What?
You will be dead. I mean,
will be
that's
dead.
obvious. Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Professor. So, I'm constantly dealing with people who are dictating what they want done when they're dead. And I see how it affects the people who are living. So it has literally driven me to the polar opposite of, you know what? I'm not going to be here. I don't care. I have a conversation with my wife. She knows, I'd probably, if I'm picking for my family, viewing is important. A funeral is important. I don't care how it looks, where you have it, none of that. That's important. Do I need a final resting place? Yes. Do I need it? No. But do you need it? Yes. I would pick that. So I would pick viewing. I would pick funeral. I would pick final resting spot. Any combination of that, doesn't matter. Cremation, natural organic reduction, any of that, all of that can fit the purpose, especially being an organ and tissue donor too. But as far as the specifics, I don't give a damn because I'm not going to be here and I don't have to live with it. And as a funeral director, I have seen people try to live with the decisions that their parents have made, and it sucks for them. And I don't want it to suck for my family. And that's why I come down on the fence of, I don't care. But
You wanna be embalmed?
oh yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean,
Who
if
do you
my,
want to embalm you?
ooh, not Ballard. I'd
Go
take
pound sand.
what?
Go pound sand. What are you talking about? I can do that. What are you talking?
Yeah, you could. Yeah, you could. I think it would be too emotional for you.
I give you so
Oh.
much. Hey, I'll give you so much arterial fluid that hey, we'll stand you up in a corner, buddy.
I just don't want you to feel bad from like a man standpoint. That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. You know, honestly, again, I don't care. I literally just don't care. But no, to my family, the number one thing is look at me when I'm dead. Look at me, whether it's in the hospital.
Look
in the nursing
upon
home,
me as I lay and
you gaze upon me, like literally.
That's
just
it,
stare.
Kari.
Yeah. That is the most important thing, is just like spend some time and like deal with it and then do whatever you're going to do. That's me. So I'm
Deal
a
with
weird,
it.
I'm a weirdo, I think. Cause I don't, it's not about me anymore. Cause I've done checked out. I'm off to the other pasture. I'm laughing at things that aren't even funny. It is what it is. So I'm out, but that's me.
okay. Ryan, what do you want it done with your
Yeah, I'm not Brian by any means. I wouldn't say I want a little control, but there's certain things that I want to pay tribute to in life that I was a part of. EMS is one of those things, emergency medical services. You know, I want that to be a part of my funeral. Not so much the fire service, but emergency medical services, yes. That was something, being a paramedic, that's been very important to me. It's been, you know, it provided living for my family. You know, I think I grew up a lot in those moments and in that time frame because I had to. So, you know, and then some of the things that you see and you deal with in those moments, you know, the same deal. You know, it's one of those deals where, for me, I just feel I want to pay tribute to that. So I want to make sure that's taken care of. I also want to make sure too that, you know, things within funeral service that we've had the opportunity to accomplish, or you know, for instance, you know, the funeral home that has my name on it, you know, that's where I want to be. That's where I want my service to be. You know, I want our ambulance that we have to take me to the cemetery. You know, the old 1969 Cadillac ambulance. That's what I want to take me to the cemetery. I've got some specific requests. I've pre-planned my funeral on the podcast, and I guess so is Brian, but Brian's is more of a whatever. Mine has a little bit more specifics to it, just because there's certain things I feel that were important to me that I want to make sure tribute is paid to. You know, and recognition is given. You know, EMS was a big part of my life for a long time. And I want to make sure people realize that there was some devotion there, that was a career, as well as funeral service, you know, podcast, things like that. I've got things that I want tribute paid for, or tribute paid for, sorry. Now we're pre-planning. But you know, tribute paid to, because it was important to me. And I hope that my family realizes that as well. I don't, Brian and I argue about this, but I don't think that's an unreasonable request. You know, if we're celebrating somebody and we're in a sense celebrating their life in one day, you know, because that's what a lot of people do, is one day services, then there's certain things that I want to have out there. You know,
What if we're celebrating that you're gone?
You would. I bet you come up to my casket and slap me across the face, don't you?
I'll Will Smith you.
Open hand slap, Will Smith, huh?
So I'm picturing, like, who's one of the Undertaking the podcast, like what is it called? They give you money for advertiser people.
Yeah.
Who's, name one?
Of
A sponsor?
Yeah,
for what?
the podcast.
Pierce, there's one.
So I'm picturing Ryan's casket with like a pierce, kind of like a car at like the Indy 500 or something, with like logos on it that have sponsor.
There you go. That's it.
He said like paid for the funeral or something, and that's all I can picture now is like a NASCAR where it's got things all over it, sponsoring Ryan Ballard's funeral today.
We were this close to sponsoring a NASCAR for the podcast because of that little man over there. He wanted to put our logo
like
on a
sticker
NASCAR
this
truck.
big just so you could be on one.
Yes.
I was so close to doing it, and Brian talked me out of it.
Nicked it.
I'm a big race fan, man. I'm not a NASCAR guy. I'm an IndyCar guy, no question about it. But yeah, we had an opportunity, and I started working the negotiations, and I got it down to, I felt like a decent price, but then Brian kind of talked me out of it. Rightfully so. It was a stupid idea.
John, what do you want for your last hurrah besides a huge luncheon reception?
There's definitely going to be a big reception. There's got to be a lot of eating involved after it's over, all that good stuff. That's definitely going to happen.
Kamikazes for everyone.
There you go. We'll definitely have all that. But I'm kind of like Brian in that, you know, I don't know the specifics and logistics of the service, but I do know this. I'm going to be buried. I will be embalmed, and I am going in a full couch casket. I'm not going in a half couch. I want a full couch casket. I want my shoes shined to the nines. I want a full suit on. And by the way, my tie better not be tied in a full Windsor tie. It better be a half Windsor tie. There better be a bubble in that tie. So I do know that. And also it's going to be a metal casket. It's going to be Carolina Tar Heel blue casket. I don't know the specifics, but Batesville actually will, if you give them about 7 days to 14 days, they can custom make a casket for you, like a certain model. And if you wanted a different color or something, they can do that for you. So that's what I'm leaning towards to do.
No bib overalls. Like I'm really like that is not.
Well, I could pull an Aretha Franklin.
Yes.
And have bib overalls,
yes,
you know, for part of my viewing, and then have the suit on for the next.
Like the visitation, you're wearing the pointers, and then you got your suit on the formal funeral. Okay, I'm liking that part.
Yeah, we'll cuss at you.
I'm liking it too.
Yeah, I like it.
Well, John doesn't want to crack over his belly with the perfection cut. I get it.
That's it. I want a full couch casket. I want it to be different, and I want to be dressed. I want the whole viewing, like the whole thing. So nobody's going to question what's in the foot of the casket because you're going to see.
Did I hear you right? You wanted your Crocs polished really, really bright?
I do not wear those ugly ass things.
Oh yeah, hey John, quit talking shit, buddy.
Oh, do you have Crocs on?
Oh, he does. Ryan had Crocs on the whole time.
Yeah. You got some
Notre Dame on those.
But that's all you, Ryan. You are extra right there, buddy. You are extra right on the hat.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
I love it. Well, I'll tell you quick, I'm kind of that I don't care because I won't be here. But I really just want to be wrapped up all drippy and gross and stinky and just put in the ground. But I get that all the other stuff is good for the family, whatever they need to do. But like when my dog died and we wrapped him and put flowers in, it was kind of very natural and hands-on. Like there's something beautiful about that. And I think some days I'm at work and I'm like, this is weird kind of what we do. We got all these bodies laid out, like 20 bodies here that are all embalmed and they're just chilling until we dress them and then put them in a casket and then have people look at them. And kind of weird where you look at like the obituaries and there's all these pictures just laid out of people. And I'm like, I don't want my picture all laid out with everybody. That's kind of weird too. Like they're just weird what we do some days, you know? Do you guys ever just step back and go, that's weird?
No, I'll say this. Yeah, I agree with it. Walking into a preparation room every morning and like you said, 15 15 decedents within the preparation room that are all preserved and embalmed. And I always go back to this, somebody that works at Rolls Royce, that's a completely different dynamic from what my day-to-day is. We deal with the human body and walking in and seeing all that. For some, for me and all of you guys, it's just par for the course. I think that's life for us day to day. For other people, we've got certain people that won't necessarily, depending on who or what is back there, they won't walk through. So, for instance, and I'll get kind of serious here for a minute. If we have a baby, child, something of that nature within the preparation room, a lot of the ladies, a lot of the funeral directors within our funeral homes won't go back there. They leave that to certain individuals within the funeral home that I guess can deal with that or want to do that, but yeah, there's certain times people won't go back there because of that. And that's an eerie feeling. An accountant is not going to understand that, that is not going to understand what that aura and that feeling in that room is. So, but people can feel it when there is I'm going to go deep here for a second. When there is a child or a young person or something like that has passed away, it's a different feeling within inside until that person's buried or whatever their disposition is, until they are not within our facility anymore. There's a different feeling within that funeral home.
It's a vibe. It's a vibe that's just kind of there that it's not the norm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I totally 100% agree with that.
I don't know. Every day I wake up stinky, gross, disgusting. And after I die, it's probably going to be even worse. And I don't know, knowing that like someone like Ryan Ballard has to wash my ass one last time gives me rather great pleasure.
You didn't choose him though. So if you really want to do that to him, you got to choose him.
Well, I'm still alive. I'm still deciding.
You know what? Just for that comment, I'm going to take a sponge and wrap it in sandpaper. And that's how we're washing, buddy.
Get a nice big AV plug, Ryan, and that.
Oh God!
You should like have a gold. You should get one and like spray paint it gold, and like this is Ryan's AV plug for when the day comes.
Ryan's like a fish in water there.
I don't know what that comment means, and I'm not going to even try to decipher.
Don't ask. Don't ask.
Oh, don't ask. That's an inside thing.
Oh Lordy. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you guys for answering questions.
No problem.
Everybody loves these.
Awkward silence.
They are so random and it's so much fun to like just chat with you guys. And we have never all been in the same place physically at the same time, which I think is weird. We need to plan that.
Are you going to Missouri?
What's in this?
Verney Fountains International.
FNA.
Oh, no. I'm like, am I supposed to know what is in Missouri? No,
it's the only thing in Missouri. The only thing.
I have a lot of people in
Exactly
St. Louis
right.
that watch me. I'm big in St. Louis. I have a contingency down in St. Louis of, like 30 people.
Well, we'll be there. We'll be there in July.
Yeah, I just saw his thing come out this last week about his stuff coming up. So nice.
I'm planning on being there, but I'm hoping Brian and Ryan get me that scholarship. I hope they get me that scholarship to go so I can go.
Nice.
I don't know what to say, John. I tell you look great.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
There's some awkwardness at the end of this right now.
I know.
Why is it so awkward all of a sudden, John? Why'd you make it so awkward?
A weird date or something.
It is. You didn't even pay for the meal, did you, John?
Oh, I did, buddy. I did. I paid for the meal.
Hey, Ryan, we'll do it. We'll take over the show and be like, thanks everyone for tuning in to Kari's show. Wherever you get your YouTube shows, rate, subscribe and review.
subscribe, tell a friend.
Smash that like button.
Oh my
and-
gosh. I looked the other day, I was going through pictures, and when I was flying back from Pittsburgh, that's what I did on the plane. I went through all my old pictures on my phone, and I saw the pictures from when you guys came and interviewed me the first time, and y'all were a little bit hungover. Yeah, you, Brian. And
Hungover.
we
No.
recorded our thing. I just remember from that day, you guys kept trying to get me to say all that crap, and I don't say that crap at the end of my stuff, but you're like, it's a podcast thing. You have to say, rate, subscribe, review, or whatever. And I was like, I kept trying, I couldn't get it. So I was like a big failure.
There you go.
No memory.
Yeah, no, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
I'm sure. It was a great, I hold it as one of my highest memories of my life, Brian. But
It was a great trip. That was a great trip. We ended it in Kalamazoo with Kari, and
it was like a Sunday afternoon. I mean, it was so like
Oh, yeah.
end of the hangover.
I was on a great trip.
I believe that.
True story.
Believe that. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. We've got some great topics for the next one geared up. So check us out in a couple weeks and we'll have more for you. Thanks. Bye.